Hello guys, we got a 9-game slate for Friday. New Orleans at Indy, first game. I think that because they are pretty healthy now, even JJ Redick's back in the rotation, it seems that we can't really go to Josh Hart for value, especially Steven Adams in, so they're not going to play a lot of Zion at small ball. And I think Zion and Ingram, just both of them, when they're 8K or above 8K, they're just not going to be core plays. I think they're pretty much like, they can consistently get you like 30, 40 points, which that's fine, but that's not really what we're looking for on a 9-gamer. Lonzo, Bledsoe, they're not as cheap now. In Indiana, they actually have been playing at a good pace, but this game, it's not going to be like super high scoring probably, at least the total doesn't seem so. So they're just not going to be core plays right now. For the Indiana side, Sabonis 8,600, I think he can definitely be a core play. Yes, Zion is going to, he's way more athletic than Sabonis, but it doesn't really matter because Sabonis is just going to pretty much eat up every matchup. It just seems like this guy is just so consistent right now, playing huge minutes. Miles Turner is actually losing minutes right now, but I do think that the closing lineup just fluctuates every game. Like, I think Turner can definitely close this game to match up with Adams and Zion because they're going to need some rim protection. Brogdon, he's fine at 8K. They're still missing a lot of bodies, but this bench, they actually do run a lot of these guys heavy minutes, like McConnell, McDermott, Aaron Holiday gets some as well. So I think Sabonis is going to be the main focus for this side. For Chicago, Orlando, Chicago plays at a very fast pace, one of the fastest in the league. But Orlando plays really slow. Defensively, they are not as good because they have a lot of injuries. So I think a lot of these guys, they're just tournament plays like Levine, Markkanen. We can see Levine just go off for like 60 in any matchup. Lauri's been getting a lot more opportunity, a lot more minutes at center. So I think 6,800 is not the best price, but he still has some upside. Thad Young, just again, it's a pace down spot. I don't really want to play Thad at 6,200. Kobe White, 6K. His minutes have been a lot more secure. They haven't really been playing Thomas Satoransky a lot. So I think White at 6K, he's definitely got some upside. And with Otto Porter out, they should start Patrick Williams and give him a lot of minutes. So at 4K, he could be a value, but we should be able to find better value plays as the day goes on. Orlando, Vooch, 8,500. This is a core play. Actually, would be my thumbnail, but because I had him last time, I'm not going to put him on. The Bulls, they will continue to struggle against centers without Wendell Carter, and this is going to be a very significant pace-up spot. They're going to be without a lot of these guys, so Vooch is going to have to just carry this offense. He's playing major minutes as well, so there's just a lot going for Vooch. I think he should be over 9K. Fournier, 6,200, he can certainly get there. He's been getting a lot more steals and assists, so I think he looks fine for tournaments. You can play him kind of like a leverage because you don't want to play Vooch, but you still think this is a good game. Get off of the high-owned play and go to Evan. Cole Anthony, I like him as well, 5,700. Price tag, I think he's still maybe a little bit too cheap, but the mid-range usually it's a range where we're just kind of lost because we do usually go a lot more stars and scrubs heavy. Terrence Ross, someone else that has upside, but he's very score independent. Very good matchup for that though at 4,900. He's a tournament play. Birch has power forward eligibility, so that makes him a lot more in play, but his price is 4,200 now. Still, they do have Aaron Gordon out, but Chuma, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Chuma, he's back. He should still be on a limit, but that's just one way we can take away from like Birch, Gary Clark, Enes Bacon, all these guys. Toronto side, they still have injuries, so you're still going to be going to these main guys. Price-wise, VanVleet, Lowry, Siakam still look excellent. Because of VanVleet's last game, he couldn't miss. So I want to go more to Lowry and Siakam this game, just because that's kind of just how this Raptors team goes. One guy will go off. It's tough to find out who, but I just gotta go with Siakam here because the Nets, they've been really bad against power forwards, and this is a situation where we can definitely see Siakam play some center because the Nets actually started Jeff Green at the 5 instead of DeAndre Jordan, who came off the bench, played just like 16 minutes or something. OG is still out, so we can definitely see them give more minutes. Just slide everyone down like Siakam, so that benefits him a lot. I actually really like Siakam because the Nets defense as a whole, they just play fast, they don't play defense, so I like him a whole lot. And now Boucher is probably one of my favorite tournament plays today because he is now 4,500, doesn't have powerful eligibility, but this is a matchup where I think he can get more minutes. the last 2 games, you look at Aaron Baines, people are going to think that he's to the plate, but they had to match up Baines with Vooch because Vooch is just a big center that Boucher is just not big enough. And now you get a team that is starting Jeff Green, who, I mean, Boucher should just be able to handle easily. And they will run a lot of pick and roll. They will force you to switch. Boucher is a way more mobile defender. He can definitely hedge. He can double. He can just step up and switch. So I think Boucher is in an excellent spot here. I know it doesn't look great, but for one, I do expect him to get over 20 minutes. Second, if Baines already getting a foul trouble, that's a way that Boucher can earn minutes. If the game somehow blows out, that's also another way. So I just really like Boucher here. I think with his price this much cheaper and also just not having good games right now, he's going to be very low on, probably like 1, 2, 3%. And this is going to be someone that can definitely 10x his price. And for right now, we don't have a whole lot of value. I really do like Boucher. Brooklyn side, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, if they're all healthy, I don't really want to play these guys. Like, they just take away from each other a lot. And same thing with everyone else. Like, I think Harris is too expensive. Jeff Green, price is up. DeAndre's not starting. So, unless someone is going to be resting, which it could happen because they are on a back-to-back. They play Saturday again. So, just something I got to monitor. Now, for Milwaukee, I do believe that they're playing these 2 teams again on Saturday. So, we can definitely see something weird happen. But for the first game, if we don't have any news, Giannis for sure, 10.8K. He can get there in 3 quarters, so even a blowout, he can still definitely return value. Everyone else, so they're kind of just efficiently priced, so not going to look too much there. For the Cavs side, Drummond's a lot cheaper now, but Jared Allen's just stealing minutes. Colin Sexton currently questionable. If he's out, I think Darius Garland could definitely be possibly near a core plate because we see Sexton even in blowouts, he gets the run. He'll play pretty much the entire fourth if it does turn into a blowout. And if he's out, we want to play Garland because of just the more usage that's opened up, more scoring opportunities, assists. But also, maybe that blowout run goes to Garland then. So that's a way that he can get there. And again, Milwaukee is a team that likes to give up shots. So maybe that could benefit someone like Okoro, get more 3-point looks. But I don't think there's a whole lot right now for the Cavs side. For Utah, they're on a back-to-back. They really haven't rested anyone. It could happen with like Mike Conley, but they were in a blowout, so the stars didn't play really heavy minutes. For Gobert, Derek Favors being back, he's just a very quality big man, so they're totally fine with him playing like 18 minutes or something. So it's hurting Gobert's minutes. He actually got like 37 when Favors was out because they didn't want to play like Morgan at the 5 too much. So Gobert still, he looks excellent. He can still get there. 7,400. I think that's too cheap. The Hornets just are not good against big men. They have a lot of guards that will shoot a lot of threes. Also, they will drive a lot, so there's more shot blocking opportunities for Gobert. Mitchell looks fine as well, 7,700. Anytime he's under 8K in this kind of a spot, I do like him. Conley, though, kind of too expensive for me. So mainly the focus is going to be on Mitchell and Gobert. For the Charlotte side, Terry Rozier is expected to be back. He is currently probable, so that knocks off LaMelo Ball and Malik Monk. PJ Washington's still out. That's going to help Miles Bridges, but he's priced up now, and this is a very tough matchup. So, it's tough to get to, like, Zeller also. I think Graham and Hayward still look okay. Hayward, probably the most likely guy I'm going to have the most left for the Hornets side. But, nothing too great here. Washington and the Heat, they are playing another game here, but Westbrook will be back, so that's going to hurt Beal. I think Westbrook at 9K, he can still get there because he's just someone who produces at a high level. 9K, very appropriate price. For everyone else, though, I just don't want to play Avdija when he's 3,900 with Beal. The price is not the problem, but it's about the usage with Beal and Westbrook in. And they're just a lot healthier now. They have a lot of guys that will get minutes. In the center situation, like we saw Wagner not even play, they went to Rolo, Len, so it's just very unappealing for this matchup and also how healthy the Wizards are. Now for the Heat side, very good matchup for them, but price-wise, they're pretty much priced where they should be. Like Bam, he could go off for 60 because of the good matchup, but that's kind of not likely. Butler 8,300, probably prefer to go to Butler over Bam. And with Butler back, it's tough to go to Hero, Dragic. You can't play none. Duncan, like if he were to fire off like 7 threes, sure, but 5K, he needs to just make all the shots. Olynyk, he's a little bit interesting, but minutes just aren't going to be that high. But because of a pace-up spot, power forward ability, 4,800. Price is dropping a little bit. He was pretty productive, so maybe worth a shot. Now, the next group, Minnesota and OKC. This looks like a pretty good game. D'Lo currently questionable, but he's been listed that way for the past few games now, so I expect him to play. OKC, nothing to be scared about, and they're also without their best defender in Lou Dort. So D'Lo, I think he looks excellent. There's just no denying that this guy has monster upside without Towns. So he's someone that I'm going to be playing a good bit of. It never feels good because he has a pretty low floor, but his price is also dropping, and the game, it should be pretty fast-paced, high-scoring. So I like D'Lo. If D'Lo were to be out, then I'm going to like Beasley, Edwards, Rubio. And Naz Reid, Horford, he's not a bad defender, but he's certainly not someone that will lock you down. So Naz Reid, I think he's definitely worth a look. Someone who's very productive, and also he started last time, got some big minutes. So he's probably a low-owned tournament play. And on the OKC side, they're now without Lou Dort, so they're even thinner. If everyone that missed last game misses today again, they're going to be down to like 8 bodies. So Horford, Minnesota is very bad against centers. He's going to look really good even though he doesn't play like that heavy minutes. Beasley looks great. Diallo, Miladon. He shot terribly, but he got bailed out with the steals. So even though we can't expect 6 steals, I think he can definitely make up for it in terms of just shooting better, scoring more real life points. So I think all these guys are very much in play. Now, Kenrich Williams, 3,500. He's not going to play a whole lot of minutes because he probably will start Justin Jackson for Dort, and Jackson is not a productive player. But 3,200 in this matchup, very low ceiling, low floor guy, so I don't want to play too much of if I get any of him. Kenrich Williams is a little bit more productive, but his minutes aren't going to be that high. I think because they are very thin on bodies, we can definitely see him get maybe 20 minutes because they are without Dort. Maybe he gets into 25, but he's not that great of a player because, he's been on the Pelicans. We've seen what he can do. He's more of a hustle guy. So we can't expect him to shoot this well, but he is very cheap. Should be able to get some good minutes. Detroit, Phoenix, they are tough to figure out because they get blown out a lot. The main guy is Jeremy Grant, but this is a matchup where it's just very tough. Phoenix plays slow, and McCall Bridges is a very good defender. Without Jay Crowder, they still have Bridges, so it's not that great of a matchup. And also the blowout factor. So Don Wright, 5,600. Also just same thing. It's not really appealing. Plumlee, 5,500. He just gets into foul trouble a whole lot. Blake Griffin, 5,200. Just right now, he's not the same old Blake that we're used to. If Wayne Ellington's out, I think we should look to Josh Jackson. If you guys know, there is a small narrative. He was drafted by the Suns, and when they let him go, Josh Jackson posted on Instagram saying that the Suns just are not a good organization. They ruin 20-year-olds, and it's not the kid's fault. He was referring to himself and DeAndre Ayton. So, Jackson, he'd definitely be motivated in this spot, especially if Ellington is going to miss. Most likely he'd start then. He's someone who has some crazy high-ceiling games in the past. We've seen that. But he's also got a low floor. So, just only tournaments. And then for Phoenix, with Booker back now, it just takes away from Paul. So both of these guys, they're going to be points assist dependent. And I think the one guy that's not really affected is DeAndre Ayton because he's been rebounding really well. Booker back doesn't really hurt too much of Ayton's rebounding, and good matchup against Plumlee. So he's someone who can definitely get a 20 and 15 game, be very productive at 7,100. So I think he's my favorite Suns play. With Crowder doubtful, I do like Bridges and Cam. Their minutes are going to be more secure, particularly Cam. For value, though, I don't really want to play Nader or any of these guys down here because they're just really healthy up top. So you probably need blowouts for one of these guys to be in the tournament winning lineup. In the last game, Boston, they could be without Jaylen Brown. Currently questionable, but Kemba Walker will be back. So it doesn't feel like Tatum would be a core play. But if Brown were to miss, it's going to make me have a lot more Tatum. Kemba's still probably going to be on the 30-minute restriction, but without Patrick Beverley, it does look a lot more appealing for Kemba. But 6,500, I do know that his price is a lot cheaper on FanDuel, so if you play over there, I think 5,700. He definitely makes more of a play for there, but on here, 6,500, it's tough to get to him just because of the limited minutes, and especially if Jalen is in. If Jalen is going to play, I do like that price. 7,600 seems a little bit too cheap. He just didn't shoot well last time. Minutes should be a lot higher in this matchup. Now, with Kemba back, I'm not going to go into Teague, especially because Pritchard might be back as well. So, main focus is going to be the top guys here. Now for Clippers, lastly, Kawhi, Paul George, their prices look a little bit more appealing. Boston, it's not a great matchup, but they're still without Beverly. I know that doesn't mean a whole lot, but they are replacing with Roger Jackson, so you can definitely see more rebounds because Beverly rebounds at a higher rate than Jackson. So I think Kawhi and Paul George probably can be a very close game. These two teams have played a lot of OT games, especially last season. I think both their meters went to OT, even double OT. And also without Marcus Smart, the best defender for the Celtics, I do think Kawhi and Paul George could have very good games here. And that's really it because when they're healthy, all the usage goes to them. Their minutes are always staggered, so you're not getting Lou Williams playing as the main guy by himself. So I think the favorite game is going to be OKC and Minnesota, so that's why I'm going to start with D'Angelo Russell and then Hamidou Diallo. And Baisley will be the third, but I do like everyone else, as I mentioned, for Maladon, Horford, they all look great as well. And then I really do like Pascal Siakam in this spot. And then the center is going to be Vooch. So that's going to be the core 5 right now. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like before we go. You can ask me anything down below in the comments, or you can find my Twitter also down below in the description. It's at Buffles. And if you guys enjoyed, once again, please leave a like on the video before you go and check out my Twitter, subscribe to the channel, and you can ask me anything once again. So good luck on the slate, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.